What's up, you guys? So I tell you what, as much hiking around as you do, or you think you do, until you get to elevation and like up and down valleys, stepping over down trees and stuff, man, this is a workout. I only walked about maybe a half mile or so, and just cruising around. This is a new area. I am literally in the middle of nowhere. So I drove, I gotta catch my breath. I drove in about 8 miles, and I went about maybe a mile and a half or 2 miles back down this little really super narrow trail is where I'd stopped before and made a couple videos. And I'm farther like up the mountain from it, up at the top of the mountain. I actually went and crested over this mountain back here behind me. The funny thing about this area is when you get on certain sides of these mountains, there's a bunch of light hitting the camera. Hold on. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, hey, I'm back. So there's like, it's more high desert-ish. It gets, like, you see how there's nothing in here but trees. But over on the other side of the mountain, it gets all real heavy underbrush to where I don't think you could get through there without like a machete, and maybe, you know, you'd be really working as you go through there. I like these areas better that are just all these trees and stuff, because it's a lot easier to hike, but it's not that easy to hike with the elevation. I'm about 6,900 feet. This ground is just undulating. Is that a word? Undulating? But it's really nice, neat area. New area for me. What's strange is, though, there is still some of those markings on trees around here. Now they did some logging about 7 miles back, but it looked like the trees that were marked with these little orange like spray paint stripes, they weren't down. Some other ones were around. So I don't know if these are keepers or I don't know. I'd be curious to find out what these markings are. But I'm literally way out, and I guess Forest Service, somebody still comes in and marks areas, because I mean, there is access via a trail, but I was scraping bushes down both sides of the Jeep for about the last 2 solid miles. It's pretty nasty. And because I'm out in a brand new area, really far away from civilization, I just, in case, today I've got my bear spray with me still. So this is a counter assault grizzly touch pepper spray. This one here I got at REI like a year or so ago, and I got it for guns, or for Neil's, because we were going into some heavy bear area, and I was carrying my 10mm and he carried this as first line defense. So I have this with me. I have my Glock knife with me. I don't know, it just fits on here pretty good. Fits on the little waistband of this backpack. You guys were asking about this backpack? So I believe I bought this at the military surplus store back when I was in California, and I believe it's made in China. It's a knockoff. I think it's branded like Fox Tactical or one of those companies, but there's no tag on it. After I saw those comments, I went back and looked for a tag. There's no tag on it other than a little tiny one that says made in China, but it's kind of a knockoff of a 511 type bag. It's good. It was 1/3 the cost of the 511, and usually I don't like going, on the cheap Chinese knockoff stuff, but this is it's pretty good quality. I think it would hold up fine for a lighter weight bag, for just day hikes and kind of walk around exploring. It's pretty good, and it's in this I guess it's a multicam, kind of a ATAX AU multicam setup. But it was, I want to say I paid around $50, maybe $60 for it. And the 511 one I think was like $130, and they looked exactly the same. I mean, there was some better, stitching quality, but I'm sure 511 stuff is made somewhere else as well. So buyer beware, check it out. Look at the stitching and stuff on when you look for less expensive backpacks and stuff like that. So, the other thing I got is this Scorpion short-barreled rifle here. It's a pistol, with the brace on it, my 40 round mag. You know, hey, you never know. I don't know about you guys, but if you go out in the middle of nowhere by yourself, and you never know what to expect. Most of the time it's not really about the animals, it's about humans. Humans are the things you got to really watch out for when you're out in the middle of nowhere by yourself. It's not a lot of people talk about that, but it's the truth. I think some people would caution you and tell you that most of the time your biggest threat would be other people. You never know how people are out in the middle of nowhere. Animals traditionally stay away from you, unless you've got some delicious MRE that some bear might want to come and have a taste of. Woo. All right, well, I think it's time, you know, tradition to eat. That's what we do here. We eat a lot. So I've been foraging around for see what I could find in the way of food. Whew. So this gun's pretty lightweight. It's 5.56, but anytime you carry anything like that, it's still extra weight is heavy, pretty heavy. So, like I said, I've been foraging around. I was able to find a bunch of stuff. I just had a bag in here, and I collected in this bag. I know it's weird because it's a Subway bag. It's strangely reminiscent of the wind's blowing a little bit here. I know it looks like it's wrapped in a Subway thing, but I was able to find all this out here, and it built it up, and it looks exactly like the new Italian Hero from Subway. It's amazing what you can find out in the forest. Ooh, black olives. Mmm, delicious. Oh, tree stump. It's a pretty nice area. I like this area so far. You know, like I said in the other videos, I'm always looking for new areas to explore. Man, so this is a 6-inch Italian Hero on the Italian herb and cheese bread, everything but onions. Pretty good. I'm gonna eat this sandwich up and I'll come back, look around this area. You know, there's a lot of down trees here, a lot of down logs and stuff. I could actually come up to this area here and do some like possibly some, like, you know, bushcraft shelter, maybe make a chair, because they're about 2-inch to 3-inch pieces around here, and for me, I need the bigger, heavier stuff, you know, to support my weight. But this would be a cool area maybe to come up and actually spend some time, try and build some stuff. I think that would make a fun little video. But for right now, this Italian sandwich is calling my name. I'll be back in a minute. Pretty good. So, got 2 trees here about, what is that, about 10 feet apart. Would be a perfect setup for like a lean-to shelter. The ground's not too bad here. It's pretty flat, like where you would lay underneath it. Goes a little downhill that way, so you want to keep your head up here. See, I got some paracord here. I keep on that chest pack that I usually carry. It's a big roll of it. So, see if we can't set this bad boy up. Try and use a tree limb to help support this on this side, but I think I'll go with what I got here. So this brown paracord really blends into the ground. I almost just lost sight of it. What I'll do is I'll get started over here. Don't get too high. So I make like a trucker's knot where you make a loop on either in the middle or one end. Then you take and run it through, and you can pull it back and it cinches down. Tie it right over where that loop is with a slip knot, and you can actually fairly quickly disconnect it and be able to still use your paracord. So it's sloping down this way. It wouldn't hurt to add a little slope into it in case there is any rain and the water can then fall off this edge. So here, I don't know if you guys can even see me, take the end of the paracord and make a loop in it, doubled over. I think they call them trucker's knots. Then you can take your other paracord and go through here and really cinch it down. There you go. That's a lot of pressure, a lot of weight right there. Pretty good. It's just a little bit shorter than head height, which I'm 6'3", so you can see pretty good. You're going to be laying down in there, but want to do like a long fire in front if it's really cold, or a nice fire right here. And then stack up some two things. Then you put a tarp over the back. You can run paracord across here and do it as a tarp lean-to, or something like this if you're going to do like a debris shelter. You actually have to find some of these trees that aren't rotted. Some of the bigger ones you find you can put at the sides, in the middle for supports, and use smaller ones in between. I think would be pretty beneficial. 3 fairly good sized ones there. Put some smaller ones across to make like a lattice. Some of the twigs and go with debris. I personally like the tarp style where you don't really need a ridge pole. You can use just your paracord, but if you've got it available, put a ridge pole across to make it nice and sturdy. Run a tarp back, especially if you're expecting rain or snow or something like that. But if you don't have that and you're in some sort of other situation, work with what you got that's laying on the ground. This is the start of something that could work. There's a lot more downed limbs about that size, farther down the hill, a bunch farther up the hill. Be able to lay in probably, I would think about 8 of them, depending on the types of like twigs like this that you have laying around. You start stacking these across this way. Leaves, whatever other debris, to try and make a waterproof style shelter out of it. It's pretty fun, you know, depending on the region that you're in, what the laws are where you're at, you know, what you can use, what you can't use. I talked to the rangers here, said free reign with whatever's on the ground. Just don't chop anything down, and don't be marking, you know, using paracord like this is not going to harm the tree at all. It's just a rough framework of something. You know, I knocked up after I had that delicious sandwich that I found out here. This is a pretty nice area. I like I think I say that about every area that I find. When I'm talking, I'm still looking locally here for some other stuff, but this is a good area because the amount of downed wood that I could use to try and make stuff with. But I could easily make a debris shelter, or I traditionally carry like either a poncho, you know, in case I'm way out here and it starts raining, or maybe an 8x8, 8x10 tarp of some kind. When I pack my bigger bag, I definitely would do that. If you guys are interested, I don't know if I told you what my axe was, but this is a Husqvarna. You can see by the logo there. I got a couple of nicks in it that I have to touch up. You're not going to believe this. So there was a stump, right? Back over in this other area. There was a stump, and it was, you know, it was a couple, say 2 feet out of the ground. So I was using that as a chopping block to prep my wood. And somebody had driven nails into it that I couldn't see. And I went down and struck the head of a nail. And it you know, I had this axe pretty sharp. It's nice to have it sharp because you can actually, I got this, I put this leather on here to protect. You can see I've already got some pretty good bashes in it right here and here. It's to protect when you're splitting wood. This is an old baseball glove. You can see I even use the stitching. So it's an old baseball glove, which works fine, but it also feels really good in your hand. Hold here, and if your axe is sharp, you can actually, you know, make feather sticks or work your wood like this, and not have to use your knife. If you do pack something like this out, you probably want to use it, I would think, right? Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me today. Thought I'd come out to another new area, share it with you. This is the first area that I've really found wood on the ground where I could even contemplate putting something together like this. What I really want to do is figure out how to make a chair. I think I could probably make a tripod, and then a piece across the front, and then maybe use like, I don't know if I have any old tarps, and I don't know if they would support my weight. Almost like a hammock chair, because it would be a tripod. That'd be something to try, especially if I sit in it and then fall down. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for watching.